What is going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with some breaking Browns free agency news for you guys. Yeah, that's right. I got a Browns free agent signing to talk about. Now, it's funny because I was just starting to think the Browns have been awfully quiet in free agency. And we all know when Andrew Berry's been as quiet as he's been, usually he's got something cooking, right? And sure enough, we got ourselves a new return man. As according to Jordan Schultz on Twitter, and I quote, sources, the Browns are signing wide receiver and return specialist DeAndre Carter to a one-year deal. He gets nearly $800,000 guaranteed. The 10-year veteran spent last year in Chicago. Now, of course, the Browns in the return game have been not very good the last couple of years. They really haven't had a dynamic return man since Travis Benjamin. Now, of course, they tried Jakeem Grant a few years ago, but as we saw, he didn't even play because of back-to-back major knee injuries. In fact, he didn't even make it to the regular season at all. The closest he got was playing in that final preseason game, and then he got hurt a few years ago. Make it up. Poor guy. I was really looking forward to Jakeem Grant, too, right? I believe his first year in Cleveland, he got hurt during one of the training camp sessions. And then the very next year, he made it all the way to the final preseason game. And then he gets hurt on the opening kickoff. Wow, I believe that was in Kansas City, too. Yeah. Hopefully, DeAndre Carter can light a spark for our special teams because you look at what we had in terms of the return game last year, right? Kickoff returns, we had Jerome Ford, Pierre Strong, Deontay Foreman. Those were our three main kickoff return guys. And then punt returns was mainly Jalen Darden and James Prochet. And as you can imagine, those guys really didn't do much, right? Jerome Ford had 388 kickoff return yards, which isn't bad. But damn, like, he's a straight up running back. He ain't no damn speedster. He broke a few of them, but yeah, not what you really want. You know, you want return men who can essentially put your offense in prime position to score right off the bat. Or maybe take the opening kickoff to the house. We haven't had that in ages, it feels like. And then in terms of punts, Jalen Darden had 22 punt returns for 234 yards. Too bad. Again, considering punts are, a lot harder to return these days because of the rules and stuff. But yeah, we'll see what DeAndre Carter can bring to the table. Of course, DeAndre is going to be 32 years old. He turns 32 in a few weeks. And of course, he was drafted. Well, he wasn't even drafted. He just played for the Bears. Yeah. Now, looking at his stats, starting off with his receiver stats, because again, he is a receiver. And overall, he's bad as a receiver, right? I mean, he's been in the end zone a couple times. You see 2021 and 2022, 3 touchdowns apiece. That's really all he's done. So, I mean, he a good receiver 5 for the Browns. But again, his return stats are where it's at, right? He's coming off a year where he had 17 punt returns for 158 yards. Okay, not bad. But where he really makes his money is kick returns. He had 15 kick returns for 479 yards. He's also had one kick return touchdown in his career back in 2021 with Washington. Of course, he started off with Philadelphia, then he went to Houston, and then Chicago, Washington, the Chargers, the Raiders, and then back to Chicago. So he's bounced around a bit. And it'll be interesting to see what we, do with him. Hopefully he can again electrify our return game because we need it in the worst way possible. And getting into that part, let's go to my favorite Browns beat writer, Daniel Oyefusi, who followed up Jordan's tweet with a couple of his own. This one, talking about Carter himself. And I quote, Carter, 31, spent last season with the Bears, ranked second in kick return average, 31.9, so 32 yards per return. Can return punts too, and Cleveland needs consistency in both areas. Yeah. And then we have this little piece right here again, talking about the Browns in terms of returning. Browns ranked 30th in yards per kick return and 11th in yards per punt return last season. Carter is an option for one of the two returners in the landing zone on kickoffs, especially if Jerome Ford takes on more of a lead back role in 2025. And I'll just say this. If our run game is led by Jerome, sideline to sideline Ford, we might be in trouble. Unless he takes a leap and he actually becomes like a Nick Chubb light. Because he has potential. I just need him to stop running to the sidelines. Straight ahead. That's the quickest way to the end zone. Like, this dude is so agitating, man. Like, this dude will be like running sideline to sideline most of the game. And then out of nowhere, boom, he breaks one up the middle. It's like, keep doing that. Stop with this running sideline to sideline crap. He's trying so hard to get around the edge, and then there's no edge to get around. Because these linebackers and corners and safeties are just so quick to mirror him, and there's nowhere to cut up field. He ends up just essentially running to the sideline, which is why I call him sideline to sideline. Maybe he sheds that nickname this year. That would be cool. I'll be more than happy to throw the nickname in the garbage if he goes out there and shuts my mouth up. Shuts my dumb ass up. Right? Goes out there and has a monster year as our lead back, which right now, we only have two running backs. Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong. Which tells you they're probably going to draft a running back and or sign at least one running back. I can see them signing two. Like, I would love it if they brought back Nick Chubb as more of like a short yardage bulldozer type back to, ease the workload on his leg. Because again, he's coming off a broken foot. I think it was on the other leg this time. But still, coming off a broken foot. And he's going to be essentially 2 years removed from that gruesome knee injury. So, I don't know if he'll be fully back. But you bring him back. And then maybe you go out and sign my dog, J.K. Dobbins. I don't know what the hell just happened there. I was trying to say my dog and my guy at the same time, and I damn near said my die. What? I swear, dude. My brain is mush. This is what this team did to me. Ay, ay, ay. Gotta love it, though. Right? So, yeah, DeAndre Carter, solid signing. Not gonna, throw a parade over it. Got ourselves a good return man for once. Let's see if this works out. Now, what I didn't realize is that the Browns had so much cap space. I just looked at Spot Track, and it says we have $18 million in top 51 cap space. Let me see what over the cap says for us. I'm curious now. Because if we have that much, man, we can really do some business. Obviously, we know how Andrew Berry works. We know how he operates. By now, he sets a price and he will not go over it. He'll call an agent. He'll say, hey, I'm interested in your client. I'm only willing to pay this much for him. I'm not going to go over that. Either that player goes elsewhere or that price goes down enough into Andrew's range and Andrew strikes like a cobra. That's what he does. All right, so yeah, this one says we have 20 million in cap space. So yeah, we have money to operate, which of course I expect at least a few more moves coming up. I mean, you look at what the Browns need. I've talked about it before. They need a receiver too. They need a starting safety next to Delpit, unless they like what Ronnie Hickman brings. But still, you need at least one or two safeties because you only have four of them things right now. You need a receiver too, maybe an edge rusher too to go opposite Miles, unless they draft Abdul Carter, which would be insane. Yeah, receiver two, edge two, tight end two, starting running back, maybe a running back two as well, a starting free safety to go next to Grant. You need a lot of stuff. So I'm sure Andrew Berry's going to keep working. And hopefully these prices go down so we can really start making moves. But yeah, so I'm probably going to do a video. What day is it? Today is Wednesday. So I'm probably going to do a video maybe on Friday going over maybe some players that we could sign, if and when their prices go down. Because as free agency goes on, these players are going to get cheaper. And Andrew Berry's just going to be sitting there like a damn genius with his big old pile of cash, being like, hey, now you're in my range. I can now have some fun. Because again, he's not going to go out and pay crazy amounts for these guys. He uses the brain meats, at least. I'd rather have a GM that's calculated like that than a GM that just goes out to sign guys to these crazy contracts, overpaying like crazy. Because then if those players stink, damn, look what happens, right? Yeah. I expect some moves to come over these next few weeks heading into the draft. But we'll see, though, because I am sure Andrew Berry is going to start preparing for the draft, and free agency will take a back seat until afterwards. And then he'll fill whatever holes he needs to fill in free agency. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. As always, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that bell. And I'll see y'all in a little bit for Cavs and Kings tonight. By the way, no Zach LaVine. Just found that out a little while ago. So no Sabonis and no LaVine for the Kings. So it'll be a DeMar DeRozan show against the Cavs, who will not have Darius Garland because they're resting him, which I figured they would. So hope to see you guys there in a few, about an hour or so from when I'm filming this. So with that being said, I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go Browns. Keep doing your thing, Andrew. By the way, Drew, when are we getting that receiver trade that we've seen every year? And why do I feel like it's going to be Brandon Ayuk? I have that weird gut feeling that we're going to trade for Brandon Ayuk. We'll see if it happens. So, Browns, I'm Crazy Dog. See you guys later tonight. I'm out. Bye-bye.